Hello everyone. Today I'm going to give you my thoughts on Burgman 650, also called as Suzuki Hayabusa. The reason for that is this scooter shares a lot of parts with the Hayabusa. So in terms of reliability, you can be assured that this bike will go for at least 100,000 kilometers if you take good care of the engine and service it regularly. Now, I've had this bike for a few months now, and I think this is the ideal time for me to share my thoughts and give a user review on what this scooter is and how it can be used and if I would recommend it. Now, as you can see that this is a very big scooter. The wheelbase is quite long and it is quite heavy, but that translates to better road stability and highway cruising. So this bike can be used in the city as well, but lane filtering won't be as easy on this one as compared to, let's say, a smaller scooter which is 150cc or 110cc, like this one right here. So what I feel about this bike is that if you have a long commute and if that requires you to go through a highway and do speeds in excess of 100 kilometers an hour, and you don't go in bumper to bumper traffic all the time, then this scooter is perfect for you. This can go through the city as well in heavy traffic, but because of the heavy weight and the width of the scooter itself, it's not ideal for lane filtering, although I have done it and I want to show you some quick features on this one. Alright, as soon as I start it. Okay, so we got a very simple dashboard here. It's analog and parts of it are digital. Now let's see how this works. Okay. It's got a very nice whine to it. The engine is very quiet. When you're on the go, you can barely hear the engine. And there's a couple of really good features on this one. For example, this button, what it does is it draws the mirrors in, as you can see. So when you are doing lane filtering in heavy traffic, this feature is really useful. And again, as you can see, and the mirrors are out. The screen is also adjustable, and this is the button for adjusting the screen. As you can see, down, up. It's an awesome feature, and as you can hear that whine. It's got a really nice whine to it. So it is a great bike, so you don't have to change gears, and like I said, if you do a bit of highway commuting or touring, this is perfect for you. In terms of fuel consumption, it is on the fuel guzzling side, let's say. It returns about 5.5, not 5.5, I would say 6.5 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers, and which is not bad considering the size and the weight of the bike. And there's a lot of comfort. As you can see, this bike is absolutely perfect if you have a pillion that you're going to take. It's got a nice backrest. The seat is extremely wide, very comfortable. So and you got a backrest for the rider as well. The reach to the ground is very accessible. Even if you're a shorter rider, it shouldn't be much of an issue. There's a lot of space under seat storage. Okay, I think this is already open. Okay, so as you can see, there's 58 liters of storage underneath the seat, so it can fit one helmet and one full face helmet and one half face helmet, and seems quite adequate. The one thing I miss as compared to a smaller scooter is not having a flat footboard here. If it had a flat footboard, then you can carry more groceries in between your feet, but this is quite adequate in terms of space. So if you are looking for a scooter or any bike to be your only bike, I think the Burgman 650 is ideal. The service intervals are a little bit smaller as compared to let's say Tracer 900, which is my other bike, which usually has service intervals of about 10,000 kilometers, whereas this one you have to service it every 6,000 kilometers. The oil change is very easy. This is a second generation model, so the oil change is quite easy. You don't have to remove any fairings to change the oil. The oil plug is very accessible, and so is the filter, which is just underneath here, and there's a cutout in the fairing and you can reach it quite easily. And this one also has a handbrake, so if you pull this one up, that's the handbrake. So for your hill holds, you can use it and you release it like that. Okay, and also a very important feature that this bike has is an overdrive gear. So if you're going on a highway, let's say more than 100 kilometers an hour, what you can do is you can change the gears to manual. Okay, where is it? Okay, here we go. So you can change the gearing to manual in this one, and you can just go up a gear and put it in a sixth gear. So I don't think, yeah, here we go. So as you can see, it's gone to manual now. If I press this button, it goes to manual mode, and you have the up down thumb shifters, which is quite convenient, and it gives you a higher rev ceiling if you want to accelerate. If you do not wish to manually change the gears, you can just press this power button, and that does the same thing. So that won't change the gears until it hits the red line. Now technically this bike does not have gears. It has a CVT belt, and so it is sort of infinite gear changes. So the belt just moves along a pulley, and it is kind of like gear change. Okay, so in terms of riding at night, these lights are extremely bright and throw a very wide array on the road, and you should be able to drive at night without any issues. I rode this bike 748 kilometers in one day, and I was able to stretch my legs along this footboard, and the seat is a little bit hard, but if you use an aftermarket seat, this is the best thing to do highway touring, long distance touring. Yeah, so 748 kilometers, I had zero issues. The bike was able to keep up with the traffic. The top speed of the bike is in excess of 200 kilometers, and that definitely exceeds road legal speeds. Oh, there's a cat running down the street. Okay, so I think if you just want one bike in your garage, this is the bike to get. So you don't have the hassle of changing gears. You can drive through the traffic in the city, and you can also go highway touring. And it's not exactly cheap to maintain if you take it to a workshop, but there's plenty of tutorials online, and I've done a few as well in terms of how to service this bike, change the gear oil, transmission oil, engine oil, air filter, and so on. And you can just do it yourself. The air filter is very accessible, which is just in here. You just pull that out, and there's a tray that comes out of here. You pull the air filter out, and yeah, just change the air filter. So would I recommend this bike? Absolutely, I would recommend. You can find used Burgman 650s for quite a bargain, but when you're buying a used one, just make sure that they have been regularly serviced, and that there's service record for these bikes, because it's very easy for owners to ignore the servicing intervals and doing what they need to do, because the services at service center can be expensive. But like I said to you, there's a lot of DIY tutorials on how to service this bike, and you can do it yourself. So definitely check the Burgman 650 out, and if you want just one bike, this is the bike to get, the super scooter.